Hey, what's up, gentlemen and ladies? Happy, I guess, day of the book smugglers to Lithuania. I don't know, I'm looking through here and there isn't really that much going on in this day, so I guess yay to book smugglers in Lithuania. So today, I am here to talk about patches, everybody's favorite topic when it comes to Final Fantasy. Don't know why I felt the need to sing that. So, okay, well, this is kind of half patches and half a game that needs patches. Specifically, I'm gonna be talking, as you could probably tell from the title, about Final Fantasy 15 and the soon-to-be-released outside of Japan Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 HD, no, Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix, or I actually don't think you're supposed to pronounce the plus. I don't fucking know. With Kingdom Hearts, you never know the pronunciation. I wish that they, you know how like Kingdom Hearts Uncovered, or sorry, not Uncovered, what the fuck am I saying? Kingdom Hearts Chi, as I'm gonna call it, had like in brackets, it had CHI telling you that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, or like it in brackets, the new one has like cross telling you that that's how you're supposed to say it, Union Cross. I wish that all Kingdom Hearts games had that, like just in case, just at the bottom they would have like spelled out like in full letters, Kingdom Hearts 358 days over 2, or Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5, 2.5 final chapter, or HD remix and the 2.8 final. Regardless, Nomura's mind works a little bit more advanced than all of us. We all gotta relearn the order of operations again, apparently. But alright, so Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, let's just call it that. The PS4 remaster of the 2 collections on the PS3, so a remaster of 2 sets of 3 remasters that was coming to PS4 apparently has some, I guess you could call them glitches. I'm sure if you guys are big Kingdom Hearts fans, you have probably heard about this by now, but the game is actually going to be in 60 FPS for the first time. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all 4 games that are included in the pack are 60 FPS. I'm not sure if the 2 movies are 60 FPS, although if somebody could confirm that in the comments, that'd be awesome. But I know for sure that Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix, and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, or Rechain of Memories, not Final Mix, are running 60 FPS, which is great for people that care about 60 FPS. I don't know, I've talked about it in the past. I really don't give a shit about frames. Like, I will play a game at 24, I really don't give a damn, and I know people are gonna make those stupid, like, oh, slideshow jokes, but go ahead, whatever. I never understood why frames were such a big deal. Like, even last generation, most people didn't even really talk about frames, but suddenly, out of nowhere, now they're important, and every game needs to be 60 FPS. And some people even say that if the game is not 60 FPS, they can't play it because it makes their head hurt. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like, historically, all games were 30 FPS. How did you play games on the PS2 at 30 FPS if they made your head hurt? Regardless, that's a completely different thing, getting way off topic here. So apparently, because of this 60 FPS update, I guess, to the 4 Kingdom Hearts games that I previously mentioned, there has actually been a couple weird things about certain points in them. I don't remember any examples specifically off the top of my head. I just know that there's something to do with like the Sephiroth battles and the Data battles and just a couple other really weird moves that happen in the game that are faster than they're supposed to be and faster than they were in the original. Now, I could kind of think of an explanation for this, but it doesn't really make sense, at least not for a video game. Because you see, if you have a video that you shot at, say, 30 FPS, right? And you cut that video and you make, well, you don't cut it, but you shorten it, you compress it, condense it into exactly half the time, and you basically cut each time that the frame is on screen by half, you will get a 60 FPS video, but that only lasts for half the time than what the original one did. So it makes sense to have something that was previously running at 30 FPS, now running at 60, to be twice the speed, but the thing that doesn't really make sense is that this is not a video, this is a game. The models are actually there moving inside the system. Like, how do you fuck this up? Oh, that's right, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. This is Osaka we're talking about. Of course they fucked it up. They always somehow find a way to get the most basic things wrong. Honestly, it's pretty bad because it makes some fights a lot harder than they really need to be, especially when it's like bosses that were already pretty challenging, all things considered, in their original form. But now you have the added thing that it's like a double speed type of thing. Maybe they should make a mode out of it, call it like Kingdom Hearts Hyper, and have everything go like at twice the speed and 60 FPS, even though it's like technically cheating because the game is going at like half the time. Some people have even suggested them releasing some kind of patch to actually revert the game to 30 FPS, which I would actually do, even if it reverted it to the PS3 versions, because as many glitches as those did have individually, I don't actually know if they fixed any of the glitches that were added in the remixes. And I'm not talking about load times, because I can deal with load times if it means that the game is not broken. But stuff like I guess the most infamous one would be the one from the Xemnas final boss in Kingdom Hearts 2 and how the reaction command just does not work at all. Then you kind of have to pick the lesser of two evils at that point. So who knows really what they're gonna do with this. Hopefully they have a patch for this out by the time that the game releases in North America and Europe, but I guess we'll see. There's only a couple of days left, actually. I'm not sure exactly when the game launches, but I'm pretty sure it's like in about a week or two, more or less. So I guess we'll see. Maybe they'll have time to fix it, just taking more time away from Kingdom Hearts 3, because of course Square Enix doesn't give a shit. If they actually gave a shit, they would have playtested and found out all of these problems before the game came out, but this is Kingdom Hearts, so why would they even bother, right? But speaking about another game that they did fuck up and a lot of people did call them out for, and they're working on fixing right now, Final Fantasy XV's infamous Chapter 13. Unlucky number 13. It's almost like they do it on purpose. It's like when you think of like a lucky number, you think of 7, right? Because it's like 7 is like the lucky number. And when you think of an unlucky number, you think of 13. Is it no coincidence that Final Fantasy VII happens to be the most popular and generally most well-regarded one of the entire series, and Final Fantasy XIII happens to be the exact opposite? And it even lines up with the Kingdom Hearts, like 7 Guardians of Light and 13 Seekers of Dark. I don't know, I think it's just really weird how it all lines up like that. But I guess, you know what they say, if you look for coincidences, you're bound to find them. Regardless, Final Fantasy XV. So a long time ago, back in like December, really only like 3 months ago, when Final Fantasy XV was brand spanking new and everybody was playing it for the first time, and people got to Chapter 13, and there was a lot of complaints about Chapter 13. I'm not going to go into the specifics here. You can actually go watch my full playthrough of the chapter. It lasts ridiculously long, but I mean, I like to think that I made it somewhat entertaining with my buddy Remnoct, one of the Knights of the Round. But just the fact that there is nothing that makes Final Fantasy XV good in this section of the game. Your party members are gone, all of your cool abilities are gone, and instead you replace it with this like really slow, really shitty ring that takes forever to do anything, and half the time it doesn't even work. Some people praise it for being like atmospheric or whatever bullshit reasons people are coming up with now, but really, it was just bad. So much so that Tabata promised that they would be rolling out a patch to fix it, and we're finally getting word on what is actually going to be on that patch. So this is actually the first time that I am reading this interview as well. Shout out to Crystallis Fabula for this interview. And it was actually from Game Informer, so I guess if you guys want to read the full thing, you can check it out probably somewhere having to do with Game Informer. I don't feel like looking up the link. You really don't need it. I'm gonna read pretty much everything that's important right in this video. So let's get right into it, shall we? Alright. Gotta warm up my voice, even though I should technically already be warmed up because I'm recording. This is why I end up not being able to talk for like a week straight. Well, that and like 5-hour-long streams every couple days, that probably doesn't help either. Regardless, so before, obviously, it was just Noctis by himself, kind of alone, without the power of his weapons, summoning abilities, said Sawatari. I don't actually know who that is, but I'm assuming somebody from the Final Fantasy XV team. I've never heard of him before. Sawatari, it's a pretty interesting name. It's like Saw and Atari. But anyways, but what we've done for Chapter 13 is we've added a separate route for Gladio and Ignis after they get split off from Noctis. Spoilers, Prompto's not there for reasons. I guess I said spoiler, so it doesn't matter if I spoil it, but I won't regardless, even though most of you watching probably already played that part. So you actually get to play as Gladio and see what happened from their side of things until they are reunited with Noctis. So apparently you're going to be able to go through a completely different route than Noctis did. Hopefully it's a little bit better than Noctis's gameplay himself. I guess there would be no reason for it not to be. It would just control kind of like how Gladio would in his regular DLC, which I mentioned in my previous video. If you guys did not go check that out, unless Gladio's gameplay just ends up sucking ass, which is entirely possible, but hopefully not. And apparently Ignis is going to be there too, but you're not going to get to play as him because probably Gladio was complete. Like the way that his character gameplay is gonna work was finished since this DLC is coming out like this month. But the Ignis one still doesn't even have a release date, and we already know that we're getting the Prompto one in June. I want to say June or July, so it only makes sense that we wouldn't get the Ignis one all the way until like September. So they were like, just put him off. We'll work on Ignis later. And Gladio was the one they had complete, so he's the one that they're putting for the player to be able to play as. I don't know, maybe in the future they'll have another patch so that you are able to switch between Gladio and Ignis in this part of the game. I don't know. But anyways, to continue, you will see some additional cutscenes that just show you what took place while Noctis was kind of on his own. You'll get some actual gameplay with the party of Gladio and Ignis together. You will see what happened to Emperor Aldercapt and Ravis and where they ended up being during the whole time. Hashtag bless Tabata.
Bless Tabata. Bless Tabata.
Thank you. Was that so hard? These characters that we have known about for years. Aldercapt, friggin' Emperor Idolus Aldercapt, we have known his name since before we knew Gentiana and freaking, who else? Arden and Ravis's name. Like, I remember back when we used to call them the Fedora guy and Noctis's sister and the hooded man. But even back then, Aldercapt had a name, and he plays such a like small, minuscule, not even worth being in the game role that it's mind-numbingly stupid. Like, who wrote that? And then spoilers, I already said spoilers earlier, but if you're still here and you still don't want to know what happens in chapter 13, then leave now. But they die off screen. Ravis and Idolus, or Idolus, or however you're supposed to, I still don't know. They die off screen, and you'd never get to find out why or how happened. I mean, there's hints towards what happened. You get to see Ravis right after he was killed, and then afterwards, of course, you have to fight him when he's turning into a Seath, because that's what I'm gonna go with, because that is what they are. Seath. I am sticking with that. Hashtag long live the Fabula Nova Crystallis. And then the same thing with Aldercapt. You see his throne, and it's got like his robes, because I guess when he turned into a Seath, like he went naked for some reason. And then you get to fight him once he actually is a Seath and kill him, and then that's it. I was like, oh great, he's only the freaking emperor of the villain empire. I mean, yeah, he's not the main bad guy, but if there was a second most important bad guy, it would probably be Ravis, but if there was a third, it would be Aldercapt. The only one that they're missing now really is, I still got it, Verse, as I'm gonna call him, because fuck that. He is really the only one that we're missing, because, yeah, Core, we get to find out what happens with him in the Gladio DLC, and then Iris and Arneo, we get to see him throughout the whole game. Yeah, he is the only one that's missing, and I have a theory that we're actually going to get to find out what happens to him in the episode Prompto DLC. However, I will talk more about that once we get a little bit closer to the release of that sometime in the summer. I don't remember specifically when. But anyways, there's one last statement left right here that it says, these are just the supplementary scenes that were added into Chapter 13, and that's just for Chapter 13, so nothing for any of the other chapters. If you guys wanted some more story, if you guys wanted to see what was going on with Luna so that we can actually get to learn about her character and, you know, have her actually play some kind of role in the game other than, oh, she was in that one scene and then she died. Are we supposed to feel bad? Oh. But aside from that, we are overhauling the ring magic. Hashtag bless Tabata.
Oh my god, we're back again.
Oh my god, thank fucking god. The ring, the most useless thing in the fucking game. You guys remember when they announced the death spell? They made it look so fucking badass. And then you actually get to play with the ring. And you're just like, what? So the 3 spells that you could use with the Ring of the Lucii, those are completely powerful now. Like, super powerful now. And that was not me saying that. That was straight from the quote. He actually said, those are completely powerful now. Like, super powerful now. That's hilarious. I love that. A plus for that commentary right there. So apparently now we're not gonna have to worry about them being shit and missing half the time, or you being able to get hit while in the middle of trying to do one of the attacks, or the dodge one whose entire purpose is supposed to be to help you dodge and not take attacks that doesn't freaking work. Thankfully, now they are going to be fixed, at least allegedly. I guess that's one way to sort of get rid of the problem. It's like if the thing that you put into the game is not working how you intended it to work, or players are not getting how to use it like you made it work, then just make it OP as fuck and then you don't have to worry about it. Is that probably the best way to do it? No, not really, but it works. It gets the job done. At least, again, hopefully we'll end up seeing when the patch actually comes out, and I don't believe that they said when the patch is going to be coming out, although presumably I would actually say that it has a chance of coming out. Let me think about this. Well, definitely not along with the Gladio DLC, because they would have said something about it if it was coming out then, because again, that's only in like a few weeks at this point. Probably next month, if I had to take a guess, April, because they've had one major DLC pretty much every single month since the game came out. Like, it came out at the end of November, so December, I mean, it was just like the basic like day one patch or whatever, and then in January we had the what was it? It was, I know for sure that there was a patch that added, so oh right, that's true, it was the holiday pack, but it didn't include the carnival yet. It was just like the items that came with the holiday pack. And then in February we had the actual carnival, and then I believe we also had the booster pack. That may have been this month. I don't remember, honestly. There's been so many updates for this game, but we've pretty much been getting consistent updates with actual content all the time since it's come out, basically. So I'm assuming this is not going to be too far off, especially because after episode Gladio, we don't really have anything promised all the way until episode Prompto, like I said, in the summer. So we'll see what they do with this. Again, hopefully these two games, Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, and Final Fantasy 15, end up being great without needing any more of these patches, because I guess they were rushed. Seems to be a pretty common trend with Square Enix recently, rushing out games. Now, this would be about the time where I do my regular outro, but I kind of want to go play Breath of the Wild like right now, so bye.
Not cause it's the Prince of Lucas, but reality had to hit him hard. The young prince, smart and reckless with a kind heart. He's on a mission to see his lovely lady, but we gotta admit the city is that baby. PS4 and Xbox One got it made, but the PC port is still on delay. So my PC boys, relax and get lit, cause when Square Enix drop the port, they're getting paid.